What's going on?
Wait.
Right,
Damn,
okay.
nigga.
My fault. I thought you was ready. It was quiet. I thought you was
ready.
I thought you was ready.
Nigga.
I thought you was ready.
Down. Hold your horses, bro.
Yeah. Took the whole team to the promised land. Rest in peace to my father, man. Wish you could have seen the plan.
What's going on, everybody? This is the 2Man Game Podcast, officially bringing you episode 1. I'm your host, Dante. This is your co-host, KC. We got a lot to talk about today. It's what, Casey, we'll be getting into today.
Yo, so right now, it's the best time of the year for all sports. We got baseball playoffs coming up. So, of course, we got to talk a little bit about that. We're no experts, but we do love the game. So we'll give our thoughts about that. And then with football in full effect, of course, we gotta dive into some football talk. And I know you guys saw my Bears looking right. So it's a good season thus far. And lastly, it's they got time, but we'll get into that for sure. And with NBA, the season starting up, we got preseason going on, training camp, and we're gonna talk, some of the big topics with that. So we're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, first thing we'll dive into is baseball.
Yeah. Right? So it was a good season. We saw the Giants killing it. The Dodgers were killing it all year. That race was crazy. The Brewers all year were just quietly killing.
Very consistent.
They were just killing it all year. And the Cardinals too.
That's gonna be interesting.
They're hot right now.
Yeah, very hot.
So that Giants and how could I forget ATL too? Oh my gosh.
Show some love to ATL.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get bounced against the Brewers.
It's tough,
but it's a real tough matchup. The Brewers are good. And then getting into the AL side, that race for the wild card was pretty crazy.
Came down to game 162.
Exactly, and I don't think you could ask for anything better with the MLB end to the season.
Exactly.
We got to see the Giants and Dodgers battled out for the NL West, and then the four team race. Right. And I want to give a shout out to the AL East because they had four teams contending and 90 wins. So that's really, really impressive.
Yeah, really tough division. And
then Boston and Yankees, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, so this is probably the best thing for baseball.
No doubt.
Roger Goodell, or not Goodell, I'm sorry. What's the baseball commissioner? Whatever.
Think of it.
No. Anyway, I think it's the best thing for baseball because when you have two of the most storied rivals play each other for one game, like it's not a series, it's not anything else. It's one game to get to the division series. I think it's probably the best thing for baseball. I think ratings should be through the roof.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, and then so it's in Boston, Fenway, one of the most storied parks of all time. It's been up for forever.
Definitely a classic. We had some good times there.
Yep.
That was
the Green Monster.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, I'm sure. Yeah, like that place is going to be rocking.
Exactly.
So that should definitely be a really good game. And then Whites. I'm leaning Yankees. I like Garrett Cole, starting pitcher. He hasn't pitched very well in Boston this year, though. I think he's like got 1 and 2 there. So I think this is the time to kind of prove the haters wrong and stuff like that. Because earlier in the year, he was accused. Well, not accused. A lot of the pitchers were using the substance. Right. So. And he was one of the main faces doing it. So I expect him. Well, I don't expect, but I would like to see him, come out and really kill it. That would be cool to see.
This is his chance. This is his chance to get all the monkeys off his back.
Yeah.
Plus, he was with the Astros during that cheating scandal.
Yeah.
So
that's not a good look for him.
Right. People discredited what he did for that team. And,
yeah.
So yeah, this is a chance to do some work in playoffs, and I got the Yankees too. So.
Yeah, I'm. It should be a good game though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic rivalry. Very and then what do you think about the Astros and White Sox series?
So I'm leaning towards the White Sox. I like the rotation. I like pitching. I think pitching has such a big. It matters so much when you get to the playoffs.
Of course.
Because first of all, matchups. So it'll be times where two starters may pitch in a game, because you're not. It's the end. This is it. So you're throwing all your horses, right? You're throwing all your horses out there. So I think the White Sox may pull it out. I'm not confident in that, but I do like the White Sox.
Okay. Yeah. I like their rotation more than the Astros, pitching rotation wise, but I like the Astros bats, man. They got some killers over there.
Yeah, if they're not using trash cans, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see about that,
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. And obviously as the season moves forward and all of that, we'll talk about how it all plays out and whatnot.
Definitely.
So what are your biggest takeaways from week 4 in football?
Man, obviously the Cardinals looking like the best team in the league.
Yeah, they really are. Right now, their defense looks really, really good. And their offense is a top 5 offense right now.
Yep.
And when
I think it's funny though about how we view teams week to week.
Yeah.
So like after week 1, who do we have? I guess maybe like the Buccaneers, something like that.
The Bucks, Kansas City. The Rams look pretty good.
The Rams,
week 1.
Yeah. And then as we progress, we got to week 2, and everybody was, still on the Bucks bandwagon, but also the Rams too.
Yeah.
Then we got to week 3, they were on the Rams bandwagon, and then they get killed by the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really tough, like to view who the best team in the league is, and I just hate doing that because it's so early.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say it's way too early to say who is the best, or getting into all that. I think it's 4 games isn't a big enough sample size.
Right.
I think once we get about halfway, you kind of I feel like teams start to separate themselves a little bit. So moving forward, we'll just have to see. Beating the Rams though, that is a huge win for the Cardinals.
Especially in LA.
Yeah, in LA, that's a big win for them.
That was tough.
What I right now, the Cowboys, man, I really like them. Their offense is really, really good. Zeke is, I think, getting back to his old self, running the ball a lot better, not fumbling the ball compared to last year, which is huge for that. And their defense, man. Diggs.
Hey, he going look at the rate he's going to have 17 interceptions. He has one each, and each week Diggs has an interception.
Right now it's insane. He's Diggs Island right now because I don't know why people keep throwing his way. Honestly, they got to start watching some film because it is crazy what he's doing right now. Yeah. So they're looking good right now too, and I like with the Packers. The Packers, obviously, week 1, everyone was, is Aaron Rodgers done? And right now, their offense has been clicking. Their defense is still a little sus.
Right.
But overall, their offense, why wouldn't, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to bet against him. Not too many times.
Never. Unless it's the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But
recently,
other than that, he's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that at all.
But that goes back to what I was saying, where it's so funny looking at people's bandwagon. And after week 1, they talking about, he's done, trade him, he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And what I liked about him, like, his good leadership. I mean, I've heard good things about his leadership his impact on the locker room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
when a guy like that is
right,
you got to respect him and what he says.
Yeah, he collected them all together, and then they're back to the Green Bay Packers football. How they do. So,
and I think the NFL is a lot better when the Packers are contending and really good too. So,
right. Yeah. The Packers. I think the Bears too. If the Bears are good, I think that's good for football. That's really good for football.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger markets, but they haven't really been
Steelers,
very
Niners. When
competitive.
those teams are good, I think it's really good for football.
Of course, the Cowboys too.
Cowboys, yeah.
And right now, speaking of the Steelers, what are your thoughts about them so far?
Oh, it's rough.
Yeah.
That's the only way you put it. It's rough. I watched every single game, and even the first game that they won against the Bills, who are a really good team.
Yeah.
At the time, the Bills weren't clicking.
Their offense did not. Yeah, their offense did not look right.
They were, it just looked like some week one jitters or week one just, long off season type, thing. And I didn't even. I mean, I was happy that they won, but I wasn't impressed with how they did it.
Yeah.
So.
After that first week one victory, I was on the Steelers bandwagon.
Yeah.
I remember texting you and talking to you saying, I think the Steelers, they're looking good right now.
Right.
But yeah, as of recently, I think I'm off that bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm off. But they're 1-3. Mike Tomlin is still there.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the league. He's never had a under 500 record. So I have faith.
Right. So
but
I think
they got to
one
turn that
thing I
offense
could take away.
around.
Yeah, they got to. Juju only had like 19 yards.
Yeah.
I think they're throwing too many short passes. Just looking at I don't know. They need to get it to go. I think they're just too stagnant.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Well, staying in the AFC North, what are your thoughts about the Ravens? They beat, 3-0 Broncos.
Yeah.
They were looking good. Bridgewater got hurt. He's in concussion protocol. But what are your thoughts, initial thoughts about it?
The Ravens, they just win.
Yeah.
And that Lamar, since he's been in the league, he's just won.
Just won. Like, it's impressive. People want to say this, that about him, but all he does is win.
All he does is win.
You can't hate on what he's doing. I know people got a lot of hate for what they did at the end of the game. I know you wanted to dive into that.
Yeah. So
for the listeners, give them a kind of
paint the picture
recap of what happened.
What happened? So the Baltimore Ravens coming into the game against Denver, the Broncos, they I think are one shy of the NFL record for most consecutive 100 yards.
I think it was going to tie it. They're going to tie the record.
Yeah, it would tie. So they were one game shy of the NFL record for most consecutive 100-yard rushing games.
Yeah.
So at the end of the game, the Broncos, they're up 10 with 5 seconds left. So the Broncos think they're going to kneel and run the clock out, but they needed like 4 yards to keep that streak alive.
Yeah.
So what Lamar does, he gets the ball and he runs, to the left side, gets 5 yards and falls down. Like, he didn't try to go score or anything like that.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I like it. I think it's good for football. Not for football, but I think it's good for them. Like, they're doing something, they want to be a part of history.
Yeah.
And I love it. I don't have no problems with it. And the thing about the Broncos, what they did, they were down 16, I believe. And they're trying to score. Yeah, I mean, I know you're down, you're trying to score, but you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know why they're upset about the whole situation. So now the Ravens they're tied for the NFL record for consecutive 100-yard rushing games, and I like it.
Yeah, my whole thing, the record, it's been going on. It hasn't been broken since, I believe it was the late 70s.
Yeah.
So it's a record that isn't going to be touched very often.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think they're what, like 3-4 yards away from 100 yards.
Yeah.
So they went for it. At the end of the game, yeah, I'm not mad at them for wanting to chase history, but like thinking about it, I could only imagine like in a basketball game, you're already like down, and so at the end of the game they shoot it when it's not needed to be shot, and it would like go in. I would probably feel some type of way. I'm not gonna lie.
And the thing is, like, I see both sides. I understand, like, you talking about sportsmanship and that nature, but I don't think it's that much of like a big deal. I could see if they had a scoring record and they going down trying to score or up 10. I think that's a little different. You know,
what it reminds me of is this was probably 8 years ago. The Rockets were playing the Warriors, they were almost about to break the 3-point record. And they were chucking threes. Like, it was obvious they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
And Mark Jackson started fouling their shooters, not allowing them to even break the record against them. So if you can have some control in it, like maybe I don't want to say the Broncos should have been ready for that, because it's the end of the game.
Right, it's the end of the game.
It's the end of the game, and you're expecting them to just take the kneel.
Yeah.
But when teams they're trying to make history. So
and that's why I like it. That's my thing. That's why I like it. It's trying to be part of history.
I see both sides to it, and if I was on the Ravens side, I'd be wanting to try to break history, because that's you're in the record books forever. But if you're the Broncos and you're like, bro, the game's already over, like, what are you doing? I see their side of the argument.
Yeah, they said a lot of the Broncos players were like mad and.
Yeah,
I saw this little clip. I get it.
Yeah, I get both sides.
Yeah.
But anyways, so moving on. So I would say those are the kind of the key stories to the week. Obviously, Brady returning was something, but the game wasn't good overall. It was more of a defensive game. So it's nothing really too crazy to talk about. It was great to see Tom Brady back in Foxborough, get all the flowers he deserved. But we won't get too deep into it, because it wasn't.
I feel like they should have had a better reception, or like, because I know. So just quickly, they said that when Brady broke the record for all-time passing yards.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that.
They said that he didn't want a whole stoppage. He was like, just keep going or whatever. I think they should have stopped for him. I think 30 seconds. I feel like they could have gave him 30
little
seconds.
ovation or something like that.
And I think it's just like a storybook ending to his career that he did that in Foxborough.
Oh yeah, that's super special.
Yeah, that's when you think about that, that's actually crazy that he goes to a different team.
Yeah.
Comes back, and that game
breaks the record.
That's like, wow. Like,
it's
what? I guess
NFL got something up their sleeves, setting up these games or something. So moving on from NFL, NBA, how excited are you for NBA? Because I am really, really excited for the NBA. Last year's playoffs. I
can't show how excited I am. I can't do it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. From the playoffs last year, I think that playoffs was one of the better playoffs in recent years.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Warriors, the last couple years, they were head-on favorites, and LeBron in the East too, running the East. That was kind of everyone expected that. So last year it was a nice little change.
Yeah. Plus we got fans back, full capacity.
Oh yeah, I'm sure every stadium is going to be freaking rocking. It's going to be lit. My only thing, it obviously sucks, but the injuries in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that was overwhelming. Like all the
and there's a lot of main stars getting hurt. So what I'm hoping this year with the quick turnaround, because the NBA season ended only like 2 months ago, 2.5 months more or less.
Mm-hmm.
So the quick turnaround, I'm hoping and praying, knocked on wood, that there's no crazy injuries. Injuries obviously are part of the game, but hopefully they're down. We'll see.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
It was more of a traditional offseason, I would think, though, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it was more. It was longer. Plus, I think the schedule this year is more spaced out.
I hope so.
Yeah. So last year they were playing every other day.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah, it was a compressed schedule last year.
That had a lot to do with it. So,
but the traveling was easier on them too, though, last year, because they were playing like the kind of MLB series, like home and away or like home and home. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm excited though for the NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely,
what I guess we could get into what we're most excited about. I'm excited to see the Hawks, how they're built on last year's conference finals run, because if you told me in the beginning of last year that they were going to make the conference finals, I would say you're drunk.
I would bet you.
So that was really impressive by them, and I think they're ahead of schedule a little bit.
Right.
And they're young as hell. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they do. Trae Young looked really good last year towards like the second half once they got their new coach in. He looked like more in control, was taking less of those crazy pull-up threes.
Right.
Just making better decisions.
Right. And that's what Nate McMillan, that was his impact.
Yeah.
I remember in the interview they had, and they said that he was telling Trae, he was like, yo, we can get that shot anytime we want.
Yeah.
You know? So let's look for, our options first.
Yeah.
He was telling me, you're still the number one option. We're gonna live and die by you.
Of course.
But if we could just get, because he's more of like a traditional style coach anyway.
Yeah.
Older and I'm surprised that he gelled with that team so quick. Them being so young.
Well, he was great with the Pacers.
Right.
They kept running into kind of better teams. They were just like middle of the pack, but what he did for the Hawks, that was impressive. So adding their same core in, and they got some new young guys, some rookies coming in.
Yeah. I think they have a really good mesh of like just young guys and veterans.
Lou Will and Gallinari was huge for them last year. So
Lou Will won them a playoff game by himself.
Yeah. So that's something I'm excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also excited to see the whole Dame and Blazers situation, see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, he says he wants to stay, and it would be cool. I like to see players staying their whole careers in one place, but they haven't really. I personally didn't like their offseason moves.
No, they didn't.
They didn't really add. Yeah, they didn't make a splash at all. So it's going to be I'm going to keep my eye on them. Chauncey Billups, the addition of him, I think he'll bring more of a defensive mindset in their team, because they couldn't guard anybody last year. They couldn't even guard my grandma as she laced up. So I think that's going to be interesting to see if they could just make a bigger step in the right direction defensively. I know Dame playing on the Olympic team, he was forced to play some defense. He was low-key getting fried every once in a while in the Olympics, but it's nice to see him take the defensive challenge. So we'll see if he brings that over to the Blazers this year.
Okay, so speaking of defensively, should they pursue Ben Simmons?
Ooh, that's a tough situation. I think that would help them tons.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the fit with Ben Simmons and Dame, because Ben Simmons is a guy who needs the ball to be effective. We saw that in the playoffs. He didn't even want the ball.
With the ball, he didn't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the whole Ben Simmons situation is it's different. And he's like a player where you want him to have the ball with a bunch of shooters around him. And that's all what Philly's done for him. But I don't think he's stepped up to the plate and really worked on his game. Like he's obviously a all-star talent player and one of the better defensive players in the league. But you gotta take the next step in offensively.
Because this is what, year 7? You went into year 7, I believe.
No. I don't.
I think so. He was drafted in 16. He drafted in 16, so going on year 6.
Yeah.
By now he should.
Like, I'm not expecting you to be Steph Curry hitting every 3.
No.
But it would be nice to see him at least maybe attempt them, or even just work on your game to be able to hit a mid-range. Because at the end of the playoffs, you couldn't even play him, unfortunately. And that's supposed to be your number 2 option, and you can't even play him. That's a big problem. And that contributes to him not working on his free throws and him not working on his shooting. And I'm not going to only put the blame on him, because it was a team effort. When your second best player was Seth Curry.
He's not going to win nothing like that.
I mean, I love Seth Curry's game, but I don't think he should be someone's number 2 option. I don't think you're going to be very good. So
not at all.
We'll see where Ben Simmons ends up. It's that whole situation is just crazy. Like, he's holding out, so we'll see where he ends up.
I think Portland is not a great fit, but I think it can be an okay fit. And here's why. So with Ben Simmons, obviously with the ball in his hands a lot, I feel like they could run maybe Dame off ball a little bit more. Because Dame, they got to rely on him to score. They got to allow him to create
for others.
And so I think maybe, just maybe, he saves more legs if Ben Simmons helps him do, have some of the playmaking duties. So I don't think that, like I said, I don't think it's a great fit, because Dame needs the ball too.
But, so what would you rather have for the Blazers, though? CJ McCollum's 20 points a game and a couple assists a night, or Ben Simmons 15, 8, and 7 with good defense? I'm
taking Ben Simmons.
When I was just saying it right now, I'm thinking that sounds perfect for the Blazers.
And then again, like I said, once you don't have Dame running the offense for whatever 39, 38 minutes, run him off ball. Hey, you never know. You could save him for the playoffs. You never know.
Yeah. I love CJ McCollum's game, so I would hate to see him in.
CJ's a great player, but
his game is great.
But this is year 4 or 5. I think they need to break that up.
Yeah, they've I think had their shots for sure. But the Bucks right now, I'm excited to see what they do this year. I think losing PJ Tucker was pretty big for them, because he was taking the primary forward and guarding him, and him, he's all effort, gonna get under your skin and play physical with you. So I think that's a huge loss, but I'm excited to see them, because they were so close so many years. They were competing the number 1 seed, so they finally got over the hump this year or this past year, and I'm excited to see how they flip the script for it, because a lot of teams, once they're going to get everyone's best shot now. So it's
champions. You gotta know what to expect now.
So it's going to be cool to see how they respond to that. I love their whole team. What they got going on is they got something nice going on. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out.
Well, I think without PJ, it can give either Chris Middleton or it could give Giannis to take that initiative. You know what I mean? To maybe start guarding that guy.
Yeah.
So PJ think it's a bad loss because obviously that dog mentality too. They talk.
Yeah, you need that kind of player on your team sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He doesn't even average more than 10 points,
right?
But his corner three is legendary.
Yeah. Everything else, he's gonna do that for you. Everything else, he's gonna get on the floor. He's gonna, be the man back on defense. And
those are the kind of guys you love to play with, but hate playing against.
Yeah.
So, and they lost him. Not only they didn't only just lose him, but also to one of their Eastern Conference rivals, to the Heat.
Exactly.
So I think that's like two bad things to happen to them. They lost him and he went to the Heat. So that's like a double slap in the face.
Yeah. I'm excited to see them too.
Yeah, I mean, getting into some new faces and new places, PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry, what do you think they're going to bring to the Heat this year?
Man, I'll tell you what, the Heat are really they're a sleeper team.
Yeah.
To sneak back and get to that finals like they did in the bubble in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think the Nets are, I'm not gonna say a mile ahead, but they're ahead, and I think the Bucks, because they're the champions, they're gonna have that target on their back, and they're gonna try to want to get back. Mm-hmm. But I think if those teams don't make it, I think that the Heat are that team. I think Pat Riley did a great job. They brought in so many good pieces. Kyle Lowry, a veteran point guard, who's been there, won a championship.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker, obviously that dog mentality.
Yeah.
Their starting lineup is so many good defenders.
They could compete with anyone in the league.
Right.
I think their starting lineup could compete with anyone in the league.
Right. And all of them are known to play pretty good defense. Jimmy, you still got Jimmy.
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson is the only liability on defense.
Yeah. But he's going to create so many opportunities for everyone else just because he's running around screens and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I couldn't argue anymore. I think the Heat are going to be a serious problem this year. I personally got them in my top 3 probably of the East this year. Yeah, we're going to dive into some standings in another episode, so we won't get too crazy into that. But I think they're going to be for real this year.
Yeah. Also, the progression of Bam. I want to see if he could take it to the next level. Yeah,
he's already one of the better centers in the league. And his playmaking ability, his defense, his rebounding.
He can handle the rock. He can do it all.
Yeah, exactly. If he could maybe average a little bit more points, you could put him up there with all the best centers in the league. Because his playmaking is crazy. And also the Bulls, their new pieces. What do you think about those?
Yeah, the Bulls, they're going to be really good. I mean, Vucevic, you got to think, Vucevic was top 5 center.
Yeah.
On the Magic, putting up 20 and 10 and doing all that. Then you got, I think I like Lonzo's game so much.
Oh, I mean, you're telling me I love his game. A pass-first point guard, you need those.
Point guard, yeah. You need that when you have Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan on the wings.
Picture the fast breaks they're going to be running. That's going to be fun.
They're going to be amazing to watch.
Yeah.
My big thing, I want to see Patrick Williams. I want to see if he could,
take the next step.
Right, like Bam, take that next step. So by year 4 or 5, he's one of those guys too that they can look to. But I really like his upside too.
Yeah, his upside is, I think. Yeah, he got a good upside to him. His frame, he plays good. He can shoot the ball well. He's a good defender for his age, and he can only get better. So that's going to be something to look forward to for sure. I want to see what Zach LaVine does. He has this opportunity to win some games now. He hasn't always been in the best opportunities to win. So this is going to show us, what he's all about, because his whole knock was, he's averaging 25, but
on a bad team.
Yeah, on a bad team. So that's what Devin Booker he was getting some slack for that too before this past year. So it's going to be cool to see what what he does for some meaningful games, just to see how he does. That's going to be something I'm going to be tuned in for sure. They're going to be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah,
I like
going to be really good.
I like what they got going on, and then Caruso will play, I think, a solid role for him, for them too.
Hey, Caruso, that's a fan favorite right there, man. Chicago's gonna love him. Chicago's gonna love him. You know, I think the Team USA experience for Zach LaVine is going to be good for him.
I couldn't agree anymore. Yeah. I feel like all players, well, not all players, but young players, when they go from the Team USA setting back to their normal teams, I think they to me at least, it seems like players take another step. They playing with great players, the best coaches in the league. You start building these good, some good habits and the right habits.
Right.
Exactly. And you see how these other guys, how they work, how they operate. And I think that you can't ask for anything better for Zach LaVine. So I couldn't agree anymore. I like that. I like that you said that, because I was thinking about that earlier and you brought it up. So that's perfect. Of course we couldn't skip the Lakers, because they got like 11 new players this year. Yeah. So obviously their main new players, Westbrook, Melo, they brought back Dwight Howard. They got DeAndre Jordan now. Yeah. They brought Rondo back. Malik Monk, Wayne Ellington. None. So those are just naming. That was about 10 players. So
right. So that can go one of two ways. Like, that can go one of two ways. When you bring in so many new guys, it could be a bit of chemistry issues in the beginning. Yeah. But then the talent level, the chemistry could be bad, but the talent could just start, start them winning it. It could go either way. I feel like they could start out really bad or just really good from the beginning. And I think they'll be really good because of just all the great leaders that the Lakers have.
Go ahead. Yeah,
when you have so many veterans that have been through it, and those guys are going to be, handling the rock most of the time. I think that's just going to be so great for Malik Monk, for THT. Yeah. Or Kendrick Nunn, and then those young legs coming off the bench, I think they're gonna be really good.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be good too. I think that once they figure out the rotation and how they're gonna go about everything, because they got a lot of they got some guards who are all gonna be competing for playing time.
It's funny to see who the odd man out is gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to see how that whole once they get the rotation and their minutes and stuff like that, figure out their roles, I think they're going to be really dangerous. I know their schedule isn't very tough to open up the year. Well, they have like 3 tough games, and then the rest of next 5 are all teams who were below 500 and stuff like that. So I think that'll be a good time for them to start really gelling and meshing together. Yeah. And I mean, I'm expecting big things from the Lakers.
Definitely.
It's they were injured last year, so I think they felt like they could have competed way better than what they did, obviously, if they were healthy. So that's something I'm excited to see. I will, with the move to send Westbrook to the Lakers, what do you think about what the Wizards got in return?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not, obviously, we got to be realistic. It's not probably a playoff. It's not a for sure playoff for sure team.
Yeah, I think they'll be battling for the play-in spot.
Right. I think they'll get in that 7 to 10 range, that play-in game.
Yeah.
I like the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie. Like 20 points a game.
Yeah.
What the Wizards were missing last year out of their point guards was like consistent shooting.
Yeah.
Obviously Westbrook, he's going to bring everything else, but shooting, it ain't there.
It's up and down, yeah.
And then Ish Smith, we let him go, but he's not a world beater. If you leave him open, it could go either way.
Yeah.
So I think Spencer, the fact that he could shoot the rock a little bit better, that'll be really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't. It'll be interesting to see their rotation too, because I'm not sure if they're going to start. I'd probably bring Trez off the bench.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be, Spencer, Beal, Kuz, and then Bertans and Gafford. I mean, I like it. Like they can shoot a little bit, and they'll be competing in games.
Oh no! When you just said that lineup, I'm kind of giving it second thoughts about.
I mean, then we got off the bench. We got Trez and Howell Neto
and Rui.
Yeah, Rui. See, you're right. I don't know if they're going to start Rui or Kuz.
You just said Neto, bro. Come on.
Hey, he can shoot the rock a little bit. Come on.
Yeah,
he was good for his last year. Really good. I mean, y'all don't watch the Wizards games. I'm pretty sure none of y'all do. But he was really good for his last year. I like it.
Oh, I mean, I saw enough games to realize I don't want to watch them. No, I'm just kidding.
Bradley I was going to say, you saw the 2 games we beat y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all.
Yeah. I'm yeah, we'll see what happens with them. I think they'll be competing for that play-in spot. The East has gone a lot better this year. The whole bottom of the East, I think, is going to be crazy. And then the biggest question mark in the East is obviously the 76ers with the whole Ben Simmons situation.
Yeah, they take a step
so,
back for sure.
I mean, they went from a number 1 seed to without Ben Simmons, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks.
We'll have to see what they get in return for him.
Yeah, but we're gonna save all the standing talks for later for sure. But a big question for me going into this year is the Nets' health. Mm-hmm. That's obviously what held them back last year. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if I want to see the big 3 playing together, man. Yeah. What they play? It was like 8 or 10 games, something crazy.
Yeah, only like 10 if you include the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because Harden ended up getting hurt, and then Kyrie later on.
Yeah. So I'm really intrigued to see what they could do. It's obviously they're the favorites because their firepower is crazy, and it's something I'm going to be definitely tuned in. They're obviously that big 3 is must-see TV. Yeah, Kyrie Irving is must-see TV. KD, I love his game. James Harden is the next level. So that's going to be exciting. And then they added Patty Mills, and they got LaMarcus Aldridge back. Yeah. Re-signed Blake Griffin. Paul Millsap too. So they're reloaded and ready to go. So it's gonna be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Another question I have is the Warriors' health and where they'll be. Obviously, last year they were 8 seed. They lost in the play-in tournament, but with Klay coming back, they say around either Christmas time or January. It's going to be, that's a big question mark to see how he's going to play and how they're performing beforehand. If their young players could step up, I think it could be good. And I'm not mad seeing Steph Curry average 32 again. I'm not going to argue if he's shooting it like he was last year. But I
think his numbers made that a little bit after January. There's no Klay coming to take some of the shots.
Hey, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, look, you ain't nothing wrong with that.
Those are the 2 people I don't think anyone in the NBA, if they're on your team and they're shooting, I don't think you have any complaints about it.
Anything about that. Can't say that.
So that's going to be something. Obviously I'm watching most of the Warriors games, so I'm going to be tuned in. Yeah. Is there any like rookies you're excited about or anything like that? Or
hey, the first two.
Every
year.
I like Cunningham. His game was really good, and Jalen Green. Yeah.
I want to see. So I know you saw Jalen Green has been taking shots at Detroit and saying he should have been number 1.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be on him when the season starts. If he's not producing, I'm gonna be on him.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'm gonna say, look, you never should have said anything if you're not gonna produce. You just number 2 pick. I can't have you scoring 5 points. I mean, obviously, I know you're a rookie. You got to get your feet wet.
Yeah.
But if you talking all this now, I need to see something.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat. Yeah. I'm excited to see Cade and Jalen for sure. I really liked Cade Cunningham's his game in college. He was
he's
just so smooth and so in control, and I think it'll be able to translate pretty well into the NBA. Obviously, the game is faster, guys are stronger, quicker, all that. But I think it's something I'm gonna keep my eye on Detroit for sure this year. Last year I only watched them a couple of times, but I'm gonna keep my eye on them a lot this year.
Also though, Jalen Suggs, I want to see how they incorporate these guards in Orlando.
Yeah, I don't know what Orlando's doing with their whole guard situation.
But Cole Anthony, you figure Markelle Fultz is coming back and starting. So
yeah. And then Hampton too.
Yeah, RJ, I like him a lot.
Yeah, he was good once he got to Orlando. So
he was good in Denver too. He was.
No, I that's what I meant. I meant Denver.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be something. It's the rookies this year. It's one of the better classes I think in a while. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see.
Yeah, rookie class should be fun. It's always fun watching the rookies do their thing.
Yeah, it's cool to see them take some good jumps and just they're young. They're gonna make mistakes, obviously, but to see them keep going. Why is everyone texting?
I saw something funny saying how Houston was going to be like the most interesting 15-win team.
Oh no, I like their young pieces. Their young pieces are smooth. I like Kevin Porter Jr., KJ Martin. I liked what he was doing. Josh Christopher was supposed to be like a lottery pick going into college season last year. So and they got him at like 20 or something. So, and then Jalen Green too. So that they got a nice little young core. Yeah, with Christian Wood, who's he was balling out all last year. We'll see. They're most likely going to trade John Wall, but it's going to be interesting. I don't think they'll win very many games just because they're a young team and experienced. But yeah, exactly. They'll be very, very fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to that.
And that'll do it for episode 1 of the 2-Man Game Podcast. Again, I'm Dante. This is KC. And real quick, we really do appreciate all the support you guys have given us throughout this whole journey. So it's been unreal.
Yeah, just remember, guys, this is just the beginning. Where so far we're loving what we got going on, but it's only going to get 10 times better down the road. So stick with us during these beginning stages, and I promise you big things are on the way. So stick with us, and we'll see you guys next time.